Have you ever wondered why so many men begin with enthusiasm, yet so few finish with excellence? Why does the fire of ambition burn brightly at the beginning, only to flicker and fade when the road gets long? The answer is simple, but not easy. It is because few have learned the discipline of sustained focus. The kind of focus that does not waver under pressure. The kind of focus that does not need applause or acknowledgement. The kind of focus that holds steady even when the results lag behind the effort. If you are to achieve anything worthy of remembrance, you must become the master of your attention. You must learn how to force yourself to stay focused until success arrives, no matter how long it takes. The man who masters his attention masters his life. All riches, seen and unseen, begin in the invisible realm of thought. And thought, when scattered, leads to confusion. But thought, when concentrated with intensity, has the power to move mountains. The average man allows his mind to drift like a leaf in the wind, pulled by distractions, swayed by other people's opinions, enslaved by the demands of the hour. But the man who achieves true success is the one who trains his mind to obey his will. He is not reactive, he is deliberate. He does not follow the noise, he follows the vision. And that vision must become so clear, so powerful, so fixed in your consciousness that it commands your daily actions without the need for emotional motivation. To force yourself to stay focused is to break the invisible chains that hold ordinary men back. It is to rise each day with your purpose burning in your chest like a sacred fire. It is to act whether you feel like it or not, to persist when there is no applause, and to move forward when every part of your body demands rest. The man of success is not carried to greatness by momentum, he forges it, one decision at a time. And the most vital decision you will make is this: I will not abandon the process, no matter how slow the progress may appear, because true transformation is rarely explosive. It is subtle, quiet, and often invisible, until one day it is undeniable. You must understand the law of cause and effect. Every seed you plant, every disciplined hour you invest, every focused decision you make, it is a cause. And every cause bears fruit in due time. The reason most men fail is not because the law is broken, but because they violate it by quitting too soon. They dig up their seed to check for roots. They abandon the field just as the first signs of growth begin. But you must be wiser. You must learn to work in silence, knowing that the harvest is certain for the man who does not give up. Your results may be delayed, but they are never denied to the man who stays loyal to his principles. To stay focused until success comes is to make a covenant with yourself, a sacred agreement that you will not betray your potential, no matter how long the road becomes. And let it be known, the road to greatness is long. It is filled with detours, setbacks, and days of doubt. There will be times when progress is so slow you will question if anything is happening at all. But in those moments you must remember that what is being built within you is far more important than what is being built around you. Character before comfort, discipline before delight, principles before pleasure. This is the order of true wealth. You cannot build anything great if your focus is at the mercy of your emotions. Emotions are temporary. Your purpose must be permanent. When you operate based on how you feel, you surrender your power. But when you operate based on a decision, you reclaim control. You must therefore decide in advance that nothing will move you. Not boredom, not fatigue, not the lack of immediate results. Your decision to succeed must be final. It must be carved into the granite of your identity. And once decided, you no longer need to debate with your doubts. The path has been chosen. Now walk it. The man who forces himself to stay focused learns the secret of momentum. He knows that small steps taken daily become unstoppable over time. He knows that mastery is built through repetition, not intensity. He knows that slow progress is still progress. Do not despise slow days. Do not resent silent months. They are the proving grounds of the uncommon man. Anyone can act when motivation is high, but it is the disciplined soul who acts when no one is watching, when no praise is given, and when every result is delayed. That man will win, not by talent, but by tenacity. Success is not an event. It is a condition you cultivate, and the soil in which it grows is your daily habits. These habits are the bricks with which you construct your future. Each day of discipline is a brick laid. Each act of focus is a beam added to your foundation. Do not be deceived by the lack of immediate change. Great structures rise slowly. Their strength is not in what is seen, but in what is built underneath. Let others rush. Let them chase quick results. You, however, are building something permanent. And permanence requires patience. You must also learn to isolate yourself from mental contamination. The world is filled with opinions, distractions, and noise. If you allow your mind to be pulled in 100 directions, you will never have the energy to stay focused. Protect your input. Guard your gates. Choose silence over gossip. Choose solitude over chaos. Choose direction over distraction. This is not isolation, it is insulation. The man who is called to build cannot afford to be available to everyone. Your time must be reserved for that which elevates you. The habit of deep focus is a muscle. Like any muscle, it must be trained. You cannot expect to command your attention if you have spent years surrendering it. Begin now. Reclaim your mental discipline. Schedule your focused time. Remove temptations. Simplify your environment. You are not just managing your time, you are managing your energy. And your energy must be channeled into your definite chief aim. That aim must become the axis upon which your entire life rotates. Anything that does not support it must be removed, ruthlessly, unapologetically. There will be moments when you want to quit, days when the voice of doubt is louder than your vision. But in those moments, remind yourself, the man who succeeds is not the one who never doubted, but the one who never surrendered. Use doubt as fuel. Let it push you deeper into discipline. Let it sharpen your resolve. You are not obligated to feel confident. You are only obligated to keep going. Emotion is secondary. Commitment is primary. Let your days be guided by principle, not preference. Preference asks, what do I feel like doing today? Principle asks, what must I do today to become who I said I would become? That is the higher path. That is the path of those who finish what they start. And make no mistake, the world does not reward potential, it rewards results. And results are earned by the man who continues relentlessly, quietly, and without excuse. Focus is not something you find. It is something you forge. It is created by eliminating what doesn't matter, by clarifying what does, and by doing it daily until it becomes second nature. When focus becomes a lifestyle, success becomes inevitable. Because the man who focuses when it's hard, who shows up when it's inconvenient, who continues when it's thankless, that man becomes a force that cannot be stopped. You must begin to recognize that success is not earned in sprints, but in marathons. The distance is long, the terrain uncertain, and the weather changes without warning. But it is not the man who starts with energy that wins. It is the man who endures without wavering. If you are to rise above mediocrity, you must settle this truth deep in your heart. Temporary discomfort is the price of long-term prosperity. And discomfort is not a curse. It is a signal that your soul is expanding, your mind is sharpening, and your will is being tested for readiness. Each moment you feel like quitting is a spiritual checkpoint asking you, are you still serious? The answer must always be yes, without hesitation. Do not be fooled by the illusion that success should be swift. Nature itself does not grow in haste. The tree does not break the soil and rise to its full height overnight. The mountain was not formed in a moment, and neither will your greatness be. The slow pace is not the enemy. It is the sculptor of depth. Fast growth is shallow, but what is earned through patience and persistence is enduring. There is a difference between activity and progress, between motion and advancement. Some people spin their wheels and call it hustle. But true progress is invisible at first. It's in the discipline you apply when no one sees, the mental fortitude you build when no one applauds, and the quiet victories over laziness and doubt that compound into destiny. If you wait until it's convenient to focus, you will never master your potential. You must learn to govern your mind even in chaos. The world will not stop spinning for your peace. You must cultivate peace from within. And that comes from clarity. Clarity of purpose is the compass of the focused man. Without it, your days will be hijacked by trivial matters, and your energy will be consumed by unworthy tasks. But when you know what you are building, everything else becomes noise. And it is your job to silence the noise, not with anger, not with pride, but with obedience to your vision. Let every act you perform be infused with the intention of your ultimate goal. This is the secret of high performance. Do not separate your work from your mission. Make your mission present in every task, no matter how small. When the goal is in your mind, even the mundane becomes meaningful. And this meaning is what sustains you when your emotions fail. Emotion is a wave. It rises and falls. But meaning is the deep ocean. It holds you steady through storm. Do not chase excitement. Seek depth. Build a life around what matters. And what matters is the result you are committed to bringing forth. Success demands structure. It is not random. It is not a product of chance. It is engineered through routine, ritual, and relentless repetition. You must take control of your time. Break your days into intentional units. Assign your energy where it is needed most. Eliminate the unnecessary. Streamline your decisions. Automate what distracts you. Focus is preserved by boundaries. And you must learn to say no to everything that threatens your focus. Not with guilt, but with conviction. Your dreams are too sacred to be compromised by distractions disguised as obligations. Remember this. The world respects the man who respects his own time. When you act like your focus is valuable, others begin to treat it as such. But if you allow your attention to be scattered by every request, every message, every meaningless urgency, you will find yourself exhausted and empty, having moved much but advanced little. You must become the gatekeeper of your mental domain. What you allow determines what comes out. Garbage in, garbage out. But if you feed your mind purposefully, with vision, discipline, truth, and direction, you become unshakable. There is power in monotony when it is aligned with purpose. The world celebrates novelty, but wealth is built through repetition. The same actions, done well, done daily, done without excuses. That is where greatness lives. Do not grow weary in the repetition. It is not the task that transforms you. It is the consistency. Each day you honor your routine. You become more focused, more refined, more capable. Success is a reflection of who you become through what you repeatedly do. And if what you do daily does not support who you wish to become, then your success is being postponed by your own hand. You cannot afford to live by the permission of your feelings. You must live by the authority of your decision. The world will give you 1,000 reasons to break your focus, but you must give yourself one reason to keep it, and that reason must be unshakable. It must come from within, not from external rewards, not from temporary praise, but from your own vision of who you are becoming. That identity must be strong enough to silence excuses. That vision must be powerful enough to override fatigue. And that commitment must be deep enough to withstand delay. Discipline is not suffering. It is alignment. It is the deliberate structuring of your life to reflect what you truly value. It is the external expression of internal clarity. The man who disciplines himself is the man who has decided to stop negotiating with his lower self. He no longer entertains the voice that says, later. He acts now. And in that action, he reclaims his power. Every time you resist distraction, you grow stronger. Every time you reject temptation, your mind becomes sharper. Focus is not just about exclusion, it is about elevation. You rise above your environment when you stop becoming a product of it. Your relationship with time must be sacred. You do not own time, you are entrusted with it. Every moment you waste is a moment removed from your legacy. There are men with dreams who will never see them fulfilled, not because they lack potential, but because they lack the urgency to protect their time. You must operate with a sense of divine urgency, not anxiety, not haste, but purpose. Let purpose dictate your pace. Let principle command your actions. And let your mission become your calendar. When your time reflects your vision, success becomes inevitable. The greatest war you will ever fight is not against the world, but against the part of you that wants comfort more than greatness. That part of you will always be present. It will whisper lies when you are tired. It will rationalize mediocrity when progress slows. It will tell you that it's okay to take a break from your discipline. But you must silence it with your standard. Standards are not rules, they are reflections of identity. The higher your standard, the sharper your focus. Raise your standard and protect it. Do not allow temporary emotions to sabotage eternal goals. The man who builds in silence wins in strength. He is not loud. He is not boastful. He does not broadcast his progress. He simply shows up every day without fail. And when the results come, they speak louder than any announcement ever could. Let your work speak. Let your results declare your focus. You owe no explanations for your obsession. Obsession is the price of excellence, and excellence is the path to impact. Do not seek balance, seek alignment. Balance is the illusion that all things should be equal. But in seasons of greatness, some things must be sacrificed so that others can be secured. You must decide what matters most, and let that dominate your time, your energy, your thought. Focus is not about doing everything. It is about doing what matters most with ruthless precision and unwavering consistency. And finally, know this, there will never be a perfect time. The stars will never fully align. The world will never hand you ideal circumstances. The successful man is not the one who waits, but the one who moves despite uncertainty, despite fear, despite doubt. He moves because he has decided. And in that decision, he is reborn, not as a man who merely dreams, but as a man who does. Let that be you. It is not enough to possess a desire for success. Desire without direction leads to scattered energy and wasted years. You must take that desire and forge it into discipline. And discipline is the highest form of self-respect. When a man honors his word to himself, when he shows up regardless of mood, when he executes without excuses, he begins to shape his character into one worthy of great results. The world does not yield its riches to wishers or wanderers. It yields to those who are deliberate, precise, and patient. You must understand this truth. Results do not respond to noise, they respond to alignment. To stay focused until success, you must live by design, not by default. Most people wake up and let the day control them. They respond to demands, scroll through distractions, chase shallow pleasures, and by nightfall they wonder why they are no closer to their dreams. But the focused man begins his day with intention. He rises with clarity. He moves with purpose. He does not surrender his mind to chaos. He seizes it, controls it, trains it like a muscle, because he knows that what he feeds his mind becomes his destiny. Your thoughts shape your actions, and your repeated actions create your future. Let us speak plainly. Nothing will change until you take full responsibility. This includes your time, your thoughts, your habits, and your reactions. You cannot blame your environment, your past, or your circumstances. The man who blames gives away his power. The man who owns his reality takes back control. You must stand guard at the gate of your mind. No one else will do it for you. And if you allow fear, doubt, laziness, and excuses to enter unchecked, they will build a home there. They will occupy the very space meant for courage, clarity, and execution. Each day presents a choice, discipline or distraction. You cannot serve both. You either move forward or fall behind. Even neutral days are deceiving because momentum is either gained or lost. And when you lose momentum, your mind begins to doubt the mission. You start to question whether it's worth it. You begin to crave shortcuts, applause, or the comfort of the old routine. But focus is not maintained by what you feel. It is preserved by what you've committed to. You must return daily to your decision. And that decision must never be negotiable. There will be seasons when your results do not reflect your efforts. This is where most people fall. They interpret delay as denial. They confuse silence for failure. But success has its own rhythm, and your duty is not to question it, but to stay aligned with it. During these seasons, you must become your own source of motivation. You must affirm your direction, not with empty words, but with consistent actions. You must remind yourself of the reason you started, not with emotional highs, but with grounded, relentless execution. Focus is not intensity for a moment. It is endurance over time. The flash of inspiration is common. Sustained discipline is rare. The world is filled with men who start strong and finish nowhere. But it is the one who endures, the one who shows up on the hard days, the slow days, the lonely days, who becomes unstoppable. That man earns trust with himself. And when a man trusts himself, his confidence becomes unshakable. He does not need external validation. He knows who he is, and he knows what he is building. Every day, your focus is under attack, not just from the outside world, but from within. Your lower self will try to convince you to lower your standards, to postpone action, to seek pleasure instead of progress, to make peace with mediocrity. But you must speak with authority to that voice. You must remind it who is in charge. You are not your feelings. You are not your doubts. You are the master of your mind, the director of your destiny, and the protector of your purpose. Let no thought go unchecked. Let no excuse pass unchallenged. The focused man does not entertain comparison. He does not waste time measuring his path against another's. He knows that comparison is the enemy of focus and the thief of joy. He competes only with yesterday's version of himself. His goal is to improve, to evolve, to deepen his commitment to the vision he has declared. And because of this, he conserves energy. He is not scattered. He is not reactive. He moves like a man on a mission, calm, grounded, deliberate, and in this state he becomes magnetic. Opportunities come. People take notice. Results follow. You must build an environment that protects your focus. Do not underestimate the influence of your surroundings. If you spend your time among the distracted, you will absorb their habits. If your space is filled with noise, clutter, and confusion, your mind will mirror that chaos. Order is not just physical, it is mental. Clean your environment. Simplify your inputs. Reduce the noise. Surround yourself with people who elevate your standards. Protect your space like it holds your future, because it does. Energy management is focus management. You cannot operate at your highest frequency when you are physically depleted or emotionally unstable. Take care of your body. Move it daily. Nourish it with intention. Rest with discipline. Eliminate energy leaks, whether they come from toxic people, unaligned commitments, or unresolved conflict. Your energy is your most precious currency. Spend it where it compounds. Preserve it where it matters. And never trade long-term peace for short-term pleasure. You must also learn to delay gratification. Focused men are future-driven. They make decisions from the standpoint of legacy, not convenience. They understand that what feels good now often costs more later. But what is uncomfortable now usually pays dividends in the future. Every decision has a compound effect. One missed habit may feel like nothing, but repeated becomes identity. One wasted hour may seem harmless, but accumulated becomes your standard. Success is a series of small decisions made correctly, repeatedly, without exception. If you wish to stay focused, you must develop mental rituals. These are not superstitions. They are systems of alignment. A focused man starts his day with clarity through silence, writing, prayer, or structured review. He centers his mind before the world has a chance to claim it. He plans his day before others plan it for him. He checks in with himself, what is urgent, what is important, what is aligned, and he executes with structure. The stronger your systems, the less reliant you are on mood. The more you automate the essential, the more energy you preserve for creation. Make your work sacred. When you approach your task with reverence, not obligation, they become fuel, not burden. You are not just performing duties, you are building your future, brick by brick, hour by hour. Each focused action is a deposit into the account of your future wealth, influence, and impact. Do not let the simplicity of the act fool you. Behind every great result is a trail of small, unseen acts done with excellence. Focused work is prayer in motion. It is devotion expressed through discipline. Above all, do not wait for motivation. Motivation is unreliable. Focus is fueled by identity. When you know who you are and what you are here to build, you do not need to feel like working. You simply act in accordance with your nature. A lion does not feel inspired to hunt. It is what he does. Likewise, you must train yourself to work regardless of mood, to show up regardless of reward, to give your best regardless of outcome, because who you are becoming is more important than what you are achieving in the moment. Let others sleep. Let others distract. Let others wander aimlessly. You have chosen a different path, and with that path comes solitude. It comes with sacrifice. It comes with long seasons of being unseen. But those seasons are not punishment. They are preparation. And when your moment comes, it will not come by accident. It will come as a result of every quiet hour you invested, every disciplined day you lived, every battle you fought with your own doubt and won. Focus is the silent builder of empires, and your empire is already under construction. Success is not a stroke of luck. It is not an accident. It is not reserved for the fortunate few. It is the inevitable result of focus applied over time. And the reason most men fail is not because they lack desire, it is because they lack endurance. They begin with ambition but falter in the stretch. They grow weary when the applause fades. They lose heart when results do not come fast enough. But the man who forces himself to stay focused, even in silence, even in doubt, becomes unstoppable, not because he is the most talented, but because he is the most anchored. Focus is not about intensity for a day. It is about integrity every day. It is easy to be focused when you are winning. But who are you when progress stalls? Who are you when no one is watching? Who are you when the work is repetitive, mundane, thankless? That is where success is truly forged. The man who keeps his vision alive when everything around him looks unchanged, he is the one building a future that will not collapse. You must remember this. It is not what you do when you feel good that defines you. It is what you do when you feel nothing and still choose discipline. You must build a standard so high within yourself that no external circumstance can touch it. Let your focus be governed by your own internal laws, not by the weather, not by the news, not by how others feel, not by the opinion of spectators. Be as immovable as the mountain. Let others fluctuate. Let others react. You must remain consistent. Your routine is your religion. Your habits are your shield. Your focus is your fortress. And nothing, no setback, no delay, no betrayal must be allowed to shake that structure. To live this way, you must become more than a man of gold. You must become a man of values. A goal can fade. A feeling can shift. But a value is rooted in principle. And the highest principle of success is this, that you are not allowed to waste your life. Every day you live scattered is a day you will never retrieve. Every moment you let slip into distraction is a moment that could have been a seed, and you don't get to complain about harvest you never planted. The focused man is always sowing quietly, diligently. He knows the reaping will come. Your energy must be preserved for that which moves the needle. Eliminate the unnecessary. Refuse the trivial. Say no more than you say yes. Stop managing 1,000 things and start mastering the few that matter. Focus is the narrowing of your power into a single stream. It is not doing more, it is doing what counts. The man who tries to chase 10 priorities ends with none. But the one who sharpens his edge, deepens his skill, and moves in one direction, he arrives, because he was never distracted by detours. If you study every great achievement, you will find one thing in common: a period of concentrated, uninterrupted focus. Not a flurry of activity, not a multitasking mess, but a calm, steady, relentless progression in one direction. Greatness is built in silence. It is sculpted through repetition. It is earned through sacrifice. If you want a future that sets you apart, you must embrace the boredom that others run from. Focus is not glamorous, but it is effective. And it is always the difference between a wish and a result. Let the others chase motivation. Let them wait for the perfect moment, the right conditions, the ideal circumstances. But you must move regardless. You must act without needing a spark. Discipline is when your vision dictates your behavior, not your emotion, not your fatigue, not your doubts. The man who acts only when he feels like it is a slave to his mood. The man who acts because he has decided to, that man is free, because his life is no longer ruled by what happens to him, but by what he decides to do about it. Do not let others' inconsistency become your excuse. You must never say, they didn't do their part, so I stopped doing mine. That mindset is poison. Let others fall. Let others waver. You must stay steady. Focused men are rare. That is why they rise. Because when the crowd loses its way, they remain on course. When the world becomes loud, they remain quiet and clear. When mediocrity becomes the norm, they remain elite, not in words, but in actions. And eventually, the gap between the focused and the unfocused becomes undeniable. Understand this clearly. Success is not sudden. It is not a surprise. It is the mathematical result of a man living in alignment, thought by thought, choice by choice, day by day. Nothing more, nothing less. And when you truly accept this, you stop looking for shortcuts. You stop needing secrets. You stop waiting for breakthroughs. You become the breakthrough. Because the life you want is already possible, it is simply hidden behind the discipline you have not yet mastered. If you want clarity, you must clear your space. If you want momentum, you must move without noise. If you want confidence, you must do hard things without applause. Everything you want is on the other side of focused action repeated long enough to become identity. You must ask yourself, what must I stop doing? What must I start doing? And what must I never allow again? These questions must not be answered once. They must be answered daily. That is how you stay focused, not by force, but by habit. Build your life like a system, not a series of emotional reactions. A system does not care how you feel. It simply runs. And when you trust your system more than your feelings, you become reliable. To others, but more importantly, to yourself. If you say you will rise early, rise. If you say you will build, build. Let your word to yourself become law. Let your schedule become sacred. And let your focus become so protected that anything which threatens it is removed without hesitation or guilt. There is no achievement without friction. The focused man does not avoid struggle, he expects it. He does not fear resistance, he faces it. Because he knows resistance is a signal, not a stop sign. It means you are moving. It means you are growing. It means you are close. Weak men retreat at resistance. Focused men lean into it. They understand that success is not easy, but it is earned. Not quickly, but certainly. Not comfortably, but absolutely. If you are tired, rest. Don't quit. If you are uncertain, simplify. Don't overthink. If you are discouraged, return to your purpose. Don't abandon your progress. The path is not always clear, but the commitment must be. stay on your path. Even when no one applauds, even when the results are slow, even when the vision feels distant, stay. Because every step you take in focus is a step away from regret and a step closer to the life you declared was yours. Let the delays sharpen you. Let the silence strengthen you. Let the repetition refine you. You are not repeating aimlessly. You are compounding wisely. Every day you live in alignment is a day your future is being built, whether it shows or not, whether it feels like it or not. Results do not always arrive on schedule, but they always arrive when earned. Trust the process. Trust your effort. Trust your discipline. Because eventually, the world catches up to the man who refused to quit. Focus is not a trend. It is a way of life. It is how you think, how you plan, how you move, how you rest, how you rise. It is the governing principle behind everything you build. And when you master it, nothing can stop you. Not because you are invincible, but because you are immovable. You do not flinch at adversity. You do not fold at delay. You do not chase applause. You simply do the work every single day until the results have no choice but to arrive. And when they do, you will not be surprised. You will not be arrogant. You will not act as if fortune smiled upon you. You will know the truth. That success is a result. That greatness is a habit. That the life you live is the reflection of the discipline you maintained when it was hardest. That is the reward. That is the lesson. That is the legacy. Force yourself to stay focused until success. Because everything you seek is already within reach, it simply demands that you become the version of yourself who refuses to let go of the vision. And that version is not born in inspiration. It is born in quiet, consistent execution, no matter how long it takes.